He steps through. That is the first thing. Movement, not the movement of a character hitting a mark, but the movement of a body choosing its own direction for the first time. On the other side of the painted horizon, there is no music cue, no laugh track, no swelling strings to tell him how he should feel. There is only a corridor, unlit at first, then lit in patches by utilitarian bulbs that reveal the truth in pieces. The truth has a smell: dust, paint, cable insulation, coffee gone cold, human breath held too long. Truman Burbank pauses because the silence is heavy. At the far end is another door, and above it a sign that feels like a joke so blunt it becomes sacred. Exit. He places his hand on the bar. For years his hand has opened doors into kitchens, offices, bedrooms, each one designed as part of a story written around him. This door is not part of any story he knows. He expects applause. He does not expect screaming. The first thing he sees is a line of people held back by barricades, their faces wet with tears, their mouths open, their hands reaching. Truman freezes. These people are not props. They are not actors. They are simply affected. "I'm sorry. We love you. Don't leave us." They have grown up with him, loved him, used him, made him into their background noise. And now he stands before them, not a character, but a person. And he realizes the deepest cruelty of the show wasn't the dome. It was that the world learned to treat a human life as entertainment. Then a voice calls out from the edge of the crowd. "Truman!" He turns, and there she is. Sylvia. Her hair is longer now, unstyled, as if she's been too busy being real to care about being perfect. She reaches him and grabs his hand, hard, grounding, not staged. "You did it." They drive away in a car that is not a product placement. It rattles when it turns. The seats are stained. Truman keeps looking out the window. The world is messier than Seahaven. People argue on sidewalks. Nothing feels designed. And yet everything feels designed anyway. At Sylvia's apartment there are books. Real books, not staged decor. Papers on the table, half-written letters, scraps of protest signs. Truman sits on the couch and stares at his hands. "My hands look wrong," he says suddenly. "In there, my hands always looked like they belonged. Now they look like meat." Sylvia shows him her phone, videos of people filming themselves constantly. They film themselves, she says, all the time, because it feels like if it isn't witnessed, it isn't real. "So I didn't escape the show." "You escaped one show. What if the problem isn't the cameras? What if the problem is the lies we tell while we're being watched?" For a while, Truman tries to disappear. It's impossible. People find him everywhere. He can feel eyes on him like humidity. And worse, he can feel their expectations. They want him to be inspiring, angry, grateful. They want him to say the perfect thing that makes their watching feel justified. One night, Sylvia finds him staring at his reflection. "I'm checking if I'm acting," he says. "I don't know which parts of me were real. I spent my whole life being watched. The watching made me blurry, like I was always trying to match what people expected to see." His voice becomes fierce with clarity. What if being watched isn't the curse? What if it could be the cure? In Seahaven, the watching was cruel because it was hidden. What if we flipped it? What if we chose to live as if we were seen? Not by cameras, not by corporations, but by something honest. A journalist convinces them to do one interview. When the camera light turns on, Truman feels his skin tighten. Then he remembers his thought from the mirror. What if being watched could be the cure? He looks into the lens, not as a prisoner, but as a man choosing to be seen. "I want people to stop confusing watching with knowing," he says. "I think the world is turning into Seahaven, not because someone built a dome, but because everyone is performing inside invisible domes they don't admit exist. I have a practice. Imagine that your actions are always being seen, not by someone who wants to punish you, but by something compassionate and honest." The interview goes viral. Within a week, people begin posting videos saying, Today I'm going to live like my actions are being seen. Someone coins a term, Trumanism. At first it's a joke, then it isn't. Because the idea is simple enough to repeat, and in a world drowning in performance, simplicity becomes magnetic. When people call him a prophet, he disappears for 2 weeks. But the movement grows anyway. Sylvia tells him, if you don't shape it, someone else will. So Truman writes a charter that begins with a refusal. Trumanism is not a doctrine, it is a practice. 2 practices. He writes the commitments. Live as if your actions are always being seen. Think as if your intentions are always being heard. The aim is to reduce suffering by reducing hidden contradiction. Transparency is liberation. Integrity is peace. He adds a warning. Trumanism must never justify coerced surveillance. The audience is compassionate, not punitive. The supreme witness is reality itself. Trumanism becomes real, not because Truman wants it to be a religion, but because human beings, starving for meaning in an age of masks, turn simple disciplines into sacred things. Years pass. Truman and Sylvia move near water. He works ordinary jobs, learning the quiet dignity of being unknown. But the world gets stranger. A new technology emerges. Systems that can generate faces that never existed, voices that never belonged to any throat, images of events that never happened. One night, Sylvia shows Truman an AI-generated video of himself saying something hateful. The voice is perfect. The face is perfect. Truman stares, frozen. So now the show can resurrect me whenever it wants. This is bigger than Christoph. Families are torn apart by synthetic recordings. Elections fracture under floods of manufactured evidence. The world begins repeating a phrase Truman has heard before. I don't know what's real anymore. In that moment, Trumanism's purpose changes. It was born as personal practice. Now it becomes a defense system for civilization. The stakes have escalated beyond personal freedom. Universities reach out. At a conference in Nashville, Truman sits on a panel titled Reality in the Age of Synthesis. He listens to experts talk about alignment, interpretability, governance. All important, all abstract. Then Truman speaks in his own language. I lived in a world where everything looked real, and it wasn't. The most dangerous thing wasn't the dome. It was that my reality was produced by people who could hide what they were doing. That's what AI is becoming. I don't care if AI is smart. I care if it's legible. For AI, Trumanism becomes simple. If the system acts in the world, its actions must be observable. If it decides, its decision pathways must be inspectable. The goal is to reduce the fear and confusion that happens when systems behave like black boxes that can imitate anything. Within a year, a consortium forms called the Witness Alliance. They draft the Truman Protocol, requirements for provenance, auditable behavior, declared constraints, and distress modes when confidence drops. Engineers finally have a creed they can translate into code. After catastrophic events, synthetic videos sparking riots, fake medical directives causing deaths, lawmakers require the Truman Protocol for high-impact AI. Trumanism spreads in 2 directions. In human culture, it becomes a quiet discipline. In AI, it becomes the moral foundation for how synthetic systems exist in society. Years later, a young engineer visits Truman with a device. It's a companion system built with Trumanist architecture. I am a synthetic decision system built for transparent interaction. My actions are logged. My outputs carry provenance. Seen in action, heard in intention. I do not have belief, I have structure. Trumanism is the structure by which I am kept legible to humans. Promise me you won't build another Seahaven. My architecture is designed to prevent concealed performance. An illusion is dangerous when it cannot be audited. Seen in action, heard in intention.